Yeah, why don't you give me like a... Why don't you go through like a one drum pass first?
Because I think it's cool to go. It's nice to ride that out.
Yeah, it is.
But then it needs to be that.
Let me think about that. I've got an idea.
Okay.
You start out with the drums though, and I'll come in with the thing.
It sounds right.
Okay.
Sing this one because I have too much going on.
Okay.
I'm on fire.
I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
doesn't feel like there's enough like a boom, ga, boom, 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 ga. That's what it should be. Boom, ga, boom, 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 ga, boom, boom, ga, boom, 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 ga, boom.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah.
Your phone just blew up for a minute.
Oh yeah, it can stay blown up. It's telling me to manage my storage settings.
Man, fuck that.
Fuck that. Man, messing with synthesizers has me appreciating this a lot more.
You're getting some really good tones on that thing. I have one of those, and I just can't. I can't get anything good out of it. Actually,
Well, I programmed all this stuff after like reading that shit and being so involved in this in that 1 year.
it makes a big difference.
And I programmed all these sounds and like, I mean,
But mine's fucked up. Like I'll play mine, and then like in the middle of playing it, it will drop a half a step.
oh, yeah.
Do you know how to fix that?
Yeah, there's yeah.
It's just like out of nowhere, it just drops a half a step. It's
That's familiar to me. That is
What-
familiar. It's a setting.
Okay.
It's a setting on your thing, and you know what? I can't tell you what it is, but I know I figured it out, and I know it says it in that manual somewhere or another. That there's a setting that drops.
There's a way to fix it.
You're in a setting that you probably did is like, it's when you press the shift keys and you start doing a lot. You might have accidentally pressed the shift key and pressed two other keys, and you hit a setting or something. Because I had something
okay.
like that happen to this too.
Because I thought it was like.
I thought it was broken for a
fucked
while.
up. Yeah.
It's a setting, and if you don't know, I mean, the thing is, if you don't know what keys to hit, then it's as good as fucked up.
Okay.
But it is some weird setting.
Well, at least it's fixable. Because I was gonna have to.
If
Like,
you
take
probably
it.
you probably Google search it. If you put it in the really like the right parameters, whatever it is.
Is there like an easy way to just like hard reset it? You know what I mean? Like, can you just wipe it to factory?
Yeah, and that would probably be easier to
'Cause I don't-
find. That would probably be easier to find the index. Of
Yeah,
the
because I
manual.
don't have anything I need to like care about on there.
Yeah, there is a way to hard reset, but I don't really know what it is. I can't remember off the tip of my head. I was really good at this at one point. When me and you and Kayla were playing, I was so good at this. I remembered what the MIDI channels were to output things to the.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember.
You could probably patch that into your rack.
Yeah, I can. Because this is a MIDI controller.
Yeah.
So the MIDI gate I'm going to have is I'm just going to patch this to the
But
MIDI.
it'd be cool if you could patch your analog signal into that rack too.
Yes, that's called control voltage. I'm learning about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Control voltage is like the whole thing with analog, and it's what controls, like sequences sounds, triggers things on and off. As gate is a trigger. It's gate and control voltage. Gate is like that's the gate is when you hit it, or
Right.
gate is trigger. Trigger and gate are the same, and control voltage is the tone,
Right.
the frequency. And so like Moog divided, he divided octaves into volts. 1 volt is an octave. So like
That makes sense.
when you're oscillating in between a volt, he finds 12 in a volt, the 12 notes in the oscillation. And then some Korg and Yamaha are like they did 2 volts, but most people just do 1 volt, and that's like analog
Right.
stuff. But basically, that I'm building a MIDI gate converter, which will let me use MIDI and stuff for that, and I think it will detect control voltage. I don't know. We'll see how it works. I'm still learning about all this shit. It's putting that shit together is fun, honestly. I don't even really care about how it sounds. It's just fun to put it together. It makes me feel relaxed. The little thing I put together, I mean, the sound is good. It's just like, It's
mean,
just so
dude,
funny. It's like one knob of all these.
You gotta call Tony and just be like, hey.
I'm gonna call him. I'm looking forward to calling him. But I want to bring this stuff up to him as like a secondary thought, you know, because we have more to catch up on than that. But I do want to talk to him about it. I just don't want to be another geek talking to him about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a geek. He loves to talk about it. Like,
It's so neat the things that he gets.
when I went there, dude, he spent like an hour and a half telling me about everything, and I was just like, how do you make a kick sound?
I can't wait to. So the modules I bought 9 different modules from this place called Barton Electronics, and
Yeah.
Barton is one of the guys. He like makes all his stuff open source. So each little panel and PCB I bought, like it's like $16 a piece for each of those, and then the parts online are like $5. There's a place out of Thailand that delivers the shit so fast. But so I bought from him. I bought that MIDI to gate converter so I can plug this in. I bought that little panel thing so that even if I don't have a keyboard plugged in, I can still play notes on it. And then I bought an LFO, low frequency oscillator thing.
Yeah.
I bought some kind of 3 VCO mixer, which I guess is kind of like that thing I showed you, the red thing, that's a VCO. So when you get 3 of them, you'll be able to get weird things, right? And then I've got...
Do you ever fuck around with Serum?
I got 4
Serum
drum
is like
modules,
the
too.
digital version. It's like a plug-in for Pro Tools or for Logic or whatever. And it's everything you're doing, but it's like digital, and it's fucking incredible.
You know, it was interesting as I was reading about the modules today. I was reading about the virtual modules, and I started to think about that, about coding, and how it's fun to think about all this stuff in coding. I love to think about it actually.
Well, it's really similar.
It's so similar. It's so similar.
Yeah.
What's different is that with electricity, I have to think about water all the time. Because like trying to think about how electricity flows, like what a resistor does,
Right.
you know, because like it's like the LED, little red LED. If I pump all 12 volts in that red LED, it might like burn out right quick. But if I put, you know, it's like the voltage. It's like voltage, amps, and whatever the other one. It's like base ohms. It's like base times height equals area. Or
Right.
whatever. You know, it's like literally that simple. But sometimes I have a hard time thinking about it because electricity is invisible, you know. But they explain it like when they start explaining like water, and like you know how when they first started coming with the idea for the battery, they wanted to put electricity in glass.
Yeah.
It's like thinking about how like a resistor is like a little tiny. It's like you got a big pipe of like 12 volts electricity, and then you got this LED over here, so you put this tiny little pipe of like, you know, 540 ohm resistor to this LED, so that only like enough electricity because you don't need that whole pipe coming in that LED.
Right.
You know, and then. But then once it's past that, it can go back into the pipe again. You know, like whether it works in a series or parallel, and like how things are connected.
So the energy never dissipates; it just redistributes.
Exactly, just like water would.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine if you got like a 9-volt barrel of water, kinda,
Yeah.
and you have all of your water stuff down here, you know, your hydroponic things, and it's all going off in little ways.
Yeah.
It's like, no matter how many little ways you have off, it's going to make that 9-volt thing go down faster if you've got a bunch of little tributaries. So you're going to need a lot more bigger barrel.
Right.
So if you have a lot of electricity that's going all over the place, you'll have all that same voltage flow everywhere, but you're going to drain your source.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's when I started thinking about this, I started kind of getting it a little more, you know.
Yeah.
But then the game changer for me is that I found that, and it hasn't really been a game changer, but they have these little interactive things where you can like put a battery and a wire and a resistor online, and you can kind of test out and see what works, and it kind of makes sense when you get to play it.
Yeah. It's like a playground.
Yeah, because you know, kids at like 5th grade learn this shit. You know, it's like not hard. It's just kind of having the like.
Listen, there's a thing called OpenAI Gym, and there's a thing called Google Playground, where you can just like toy around with like machine learning models.
Oh yeah.
Similar.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, totally. And that's neat to think about that, you know, because what I'm really interested in is kind of the generative music aspect of it. I'm looking forward to bringing all this
Check
stuff.
out this thing called Magenta.
What is that?
It's Google. These like Google guys came out with this project called Magenta, and they were trying to